Okay, diggers, this is a wrap-up of 2013, my digs, as well as there are some things I found coin roll hunting that are added in here. As you can see here, these are the cars that I found this year. 4 sports cars, 2 fire engines, the police car, and the old wrecker. That's an old one. This by no means is everything that I found, just some of the better stuff. Up here in the upper right, we have the tokens that I found. That pig may not seem like very special to you, but for me it was a great thing, because that's the day I went out with my brother and found that in his yard. That was one of my favorite hunts of the year, getting to hunt with my brother Steve. And then we went to a park after that and found quite a bit of clad, and we just had a good time. So it was good to get together with him, and I think I'll hang on to that just because it reminds me of that day. And when I dug that up out of the ground, we were excited because it gave a real high signal, and we didn't know what it was going to be, and we pulled it out. It was a pig, and we both just laughed and laughed. It was just so funny, you know, to see that. But anyway, that was a good fun day. And so moving on, by the way, I wanted to point this one out right here. I found that at an old ball field, and it just has a 1 on it. Some kind of a token, I don't know. I think it's very, very old. But I was unable to find out any more information. And then this one over here is actually a copper penny that somebody punched out a cross in it somehow or another. I don't know exactly how they did that. But and then you see the one up here, the magician. I got 2 of those. I thought I had another one, and sure enough I found it. So I had 2 of those. The Jeepers up there, one of them I got, I recovered it at the bank machine where you turn in your coins. You know, it's stuck to the magnetic thing. So one from digging it up, the one on the left, and the other one on the right, coin roll hunting. So let's move on. Some of the foreign coins that I've found this year, the King George, as you see up there at the top left across from the baseball medal, that was in my front yard in 1937. I think it's gold plated. It's been plated gold and then made a necklace. The one next to it is Mexican 10 centavos. I think it's a $10 coin. I'm not sure exactly on that. But a beautiful coin nonetheless. The one next to that is a Canadian dollar with the Queen on there. And the same thing with the 2 or the 3 silver coins below. They're not actually silver, but silver in color. And Euro coins that I found. All of those I found from the Queen on down, coin roll hunting, in the bags of coin that come right from the bank. With the exception of the small 1-cent one, I got that one from my wife. Where she got it, who knows. But I do like my car collection. I hope you like it. I did get 1 extra car that I ended up, when I dug it that day, there was a woman with a little boy. Came over by the playground, and I thought he would like it more than I do. And I ended up giving it to him, and that car looked a lot like the car that I drive. I drive a Dodge Caliber, and it looked a lot like it. It was a sharp, Hot Wheels looking car, but I ended up giving it to him, and I think he really liked it. So better to give than receive sometimes. These are the cars that I dug up this year. Okay, moving on. Sort of an exciting area right here. These are my rings for this year. The ones on the top with the paper clips, those are all my silver rings that I dug this year. I didn't get them in exact order, but the one here on the left, I dug that in my front yard, and I believe that to be very old. I found the mint. It actually has the maker's mark on the middle, on the inside, and not like 925 or anything. It's an older ring, probably from the 20s or the 30s. Very light, but it has a very awesome design on it. That was one of my first finds this year. The next 2 I found within, if you watch any of my videos, I found them both within, I'd say within 3 minutes. I had both of those rings in my pouch. I dug the flame one first, and then the turquoise Indian type jewelry next. And then this big silver one right here in the middle, I actually dug it in the same place as these other two to the left of it, as well as the next one over with the two stones. I'm not sure if they're diamonds or not, but all four of those silvers I dug at the same place. That's my honey hole. And this last one I found at a park in town. Sort of a twisted design. You know, they twisted it, and it has a saying on there. I forget what it is, but you know, all those were great, exciting finds. All my silver rings. The rest of these are, I guess, what you call junkers. A couple of aluminum. This one was badly rusted. Coppers. This one says India on the inside. I never did check it to see, you know, I don't think it's gold. I mean, it's not heavy. You can hear how it sounds. It's not. But that has India stamped in the inside of it. This is a copper here with a fake stone. Found that near the tennis courts. I remember that. You know, these are all pretty good memories. Pretty nice copper ring here with sort of a metal flake color on it. That's a fairly nice ring right there. And yeah, the rest are aluminums, and nothing really to shout about. Up here, this is a 14 karat bracelet I found in my hometown in Pontiac, and boy was I surprised to find that. I was digging up nickels. I discovered a new way to dig up nickels in the wood chips in the playground, and went over this signal. It was very loud. It was blowing out my ears, and it was underneath of a slide, right near the base, right where somebody would catch their kid, I guess, or whatever. But it's a nice little bracelet, stamped 14 karat gold, and yeah, I was real happy to get that. That's my only real, for sure, gold that I got this year. And I know it's hard to see it, you know, in this particular light against this background with my countertop here, but it's a nice looking piece of jewelry. This other one, I can't remember where I found it. I'm not sure if it's silver or not. It's not marked anywhere on it, but it's pretty dainty, I guess is the word you'd use. But it's still all intact, and it still works, and you could clip it together. I don't know what exactly it would be for, but another neat little find. This right here, I remember finding this at an old park in the town near where I live now, and it's just probably a stainless necklace, you know, with a key. But that was kind of an exciting find when it came out of the ground, because, you know, this part was looking good, and you know, then when I saw the key, you know, well, it's just one of those things that you find. But it's a big, like probably a stainless steel necklace. You can see it's got some rust on it and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, so that's my ring collection. I got 14 rings this year. If you'd have told me I was going to get 14 rings, I'd said you're crazy. Especially 6 of them being silver. Didn't get a gold, but, you know, I did get the gold bracelet. So, yeah, I think I had a successful year as far as jewelry goes, you know, for my first year. Very first year metal detecting, and I'd say it's pretty successful as far as the jewelry goes. On to my coins. I'm going to start down here. You see this mercury dime right here. That was, you see right on there, it says my very first silver coin. Found that in my backyard one day, and it was just like Axel, my buddy, and a couple of my other friends said, you know, you're going to probably find your first silver where you least expect it. And I was actually finding a big long copper pipe, if you remember, if you saw that video, and I was pulling that up, and I got a little frustrated with it because it's like the pipe that never ends, and decided to just hold off on that. I was getting tuckered out and decided I'm just going to swing the coil a little bit. Got a great signal, and out popped my first silver coin right there. I was pretty excited, you know. I know there's guys out there that dig 200 silvers a year. I only got 3 this past year. And that was my first one. The second one was this Washington quarter, 45D. Very nice. Dug that in my front yard. This is my oldest coin that I dug this year, and I know you can't really see it. It's kind of dark, but it is in pretty good shape. An 1889 Indian. I dug that in my front yard. And then this 1902 Indian I dug in my backyard. And yeah, I made a mistake with that. I tried to clean it, and yeah, you see how it turned out. So that was a little bit of a fiasco, but it doesn't matter. I'm keeping it, so it's not like I'm going to worry about the value or anything. But yeah, 1902. Then with these nickels, two of them I found coin roll hunting, and the other one I found out in my driveway. So that was my third silver. Sorry about the focus. The light over here is not as good. But the one on the right, I believe, is the one I found in my driveway, right where my wife parks. And that used to be the old driveway into this place. Who knows how many years ago when they hitched up the buggies even, probably. But yeah, so those two nickels on the left are from coin roll hunting. This King George right here, a silver coin, I got that coin roll hunting. Found in my bag of pennies. When it went through my Rydell sorter, it moved over into the zinc pennies. And that's why I continually harp on it, that you got to sort through those zinc pennies if you use a sorter, because it throws stuff like that out because it's rejected. Okay, that's silver, 1942 I believe it is. I did dig a couple of buffalo nickels this year. Both of them are no dates. One in a park near the end of the year. The one on the right was from a park that I never expected anything old. I mean, I was hoping for something old. You always do, but boy, when I got that right near the end of my hunt, that sort of made my hunt, because I wasn't finding hardly anything in this park. The other one in the tab there, I found that in my front yard as well. My front yard gave up a bunch of good stuff, and I guess it should. This house is over 100 years old, so one of the oldest houses in this area. And I still have over 30 acres to go and explore. So I think, you know, maybe this year, Lord willing, I'll find some more good stuff in and around my yard. Okay, on to this other stuff. This is a Zach Taylor dollar, the dark coin right there in the middle. I dug that along with several quarters. I think I dug all together maybe $2 in clad, and all in one spot. Somebody must have fell down and emptied out their pocket. But that was a neat find. I didn't even know what it was at first, or I had never seen a presidential dollar like those until that point. And if you haven't seen these, you really need to get one and take a look at it. The design on the back, Lady Liberty, it's really a beautiful design coin. I think the Mint really did a great job on those coins. They're awesome. The Kennedy half share you see, they're all 40% silvers. I found those in 50 cent or 50 half-dollar coin rolls. So I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. My daughter helped me get those. She's a bank teller up north of where I'm at, and got me a couple $100 worth, and I'd say in less than $250 worth of halves I found these for. Just to give you an equivalent, my wife bought $1,000 worth of halves and only got 2, I think it was. It was 1 or 2. So I got 4. So I felt really lucky. The one on the top, the Eisenhower dollar, that was another coin roll find at the machine. The machine would not accept it, and whoever threw it in there just left it in the thing. And you pull up the top, and you can kind of look down in there before you throw your change in there. And there it was, laying there, and the lady at the bank said, "Yeah, it's yours to keep if you want it. I can't take it." And I said, "Well, yeah, it's $1." So I put it in my pocket. And last but not least is this, I believe it's 1883 Morgan silver dollar. And I actually bought that off of eBay. I paid, I think it was around $30 for that. And one of the reasons, I really wanted one. I wanted to be able to have one. I've held one in my hand, and I couldn't believe how heavy they are and how nice they are. What a beautiful coin it is. If you've never had one of these, I mean, it's just an exquisite coin. And yes, I did go through all of the fake tests to make sure that it's real, and it passed every one of them. This is a real Morgan silver dollar, 1883. Oh, I believe it is. I can't remember. I wanted it. And it is a substantially heavy coin. And I've kept it out on my windowsill, so it's a little bit tarnished. You can see a little bit of tarnish on there. I mean, when it came to me, it was more like the back, which you can see is. But again, this is something that, you know, I'm not going to let it go. My kids will probably end up with it someday, I hope. 1883. I just love the date, how old it is and everything. It's older than my oldest coin of 1889. And, I mean, this is history right here. And I would say in XF condition, you can hear it. It just makes that unmistakable sound of silver versus... You hear that? And that. It's quite a different sound. So that's about the wrap up. I did get about, I think $150, $160 in clad. I got a lot of different things. I mean, this is nowhere near all the stuff I got. This is most of the coins and the better stuff that I got. The rings and jewelry, my car collection, foreign coins, tokens, things like that. But I did dig up a lot of other interesting stuff, like out in my barn. I just dug a bunch of old relic type of items that it's just too cold to go and get them out, and I did want to get an end of the year type thing going on here. I dug up a lot of Canadian coins. I kept them. Keep all my Canadian coins that are copper. And of course, all the copper pennies, the zinc pennies, went back to the bank if they were in good enough shape. But listen, I'm going to stop rambling. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll get back to you. I hope you had a great year hunting this past year, and I hope this year brings you much, much more. To all my friends, Axel, and all my other buddies that I've met this year, I appreciate you, and pray that God blesses you with a great year coming up for digging. All right, everybody. God bless.